I fucking called it. I was sitting here on this podcast and you were looking at me like a madman. I said, Luis, listen to me, brother. Brother, CM Punk, it just makes sense, brother. The tie-in with Paul Heyman, too perfect. It just all made so much sense. Even I thought it was unlikely, but I knew that it made so much. It was too perfect. I am so thankful that Triple H watches the show and realized that that was the move.
He watches it.
Yes, man. I know.
We need to get a Triple H figure, bro. I need to bring one, bro.
I got one in there. It just don't. He's not in the box, so he's not gonna be able to stand up there properly. Unfortunately, that was from when I was a kiddo. He was actually in the ring with the real graps shit. But
No.
Punk is the 5th member of the babyface team in the men's War Games match. Punk is a part of the Bloodline temporarily. How are we feeling?
I guess it does.
Besides the fact that I called, how are we feeling?
I mean, it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't make sense at the same time.
How does it not make sense for you? Because obviously he's going to want to help out his man.
Heyman with Punk? Yeah, I don't know, bro.
That's his dog. You got to look out for your dog. That's his favorite,
yo.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I've seen a lot of people say is that this is probably going to carry the feud with Seth Rollins, probably.
I definitely think that that's another positive benefit, and that wasn't something I even called out in my prediction, but I do think that with how much Seth was against helping Roman and how much Seth already hates Punk.
And then Punk just doing it just like that out of nowhere and shit.
Exactly. It definitely adds some fuel to that fire and can give a good segue to getting us back to Seth versus Punk, which we've always known we were going to get there eventually somehow. It was just a matter of when and how. This could definitely be the way that we get there. I'm very excited to see how all that develops. I guess, are you happy with the direction that they went overall? I think I've made it pretty clear that I'm very happy with Punk being the final member. Do you think that that was a solid step? Do you prefer it over Seth, I guess, is a better question. Do you think Seth would have been better, or do you think Punk makes more sense?
Yeah, Punk makes a little more sense at the end of the day.
My thing is that...
I feel like it's going to be some type of storyline continuing with this shit and shit, bro.
My thing is that pretty much every other babyface who had been pitched or mentioned on the show, besides like maybe a Braun Breaker or something, had been kind of fucked over by Roman and the Bloodline at some point. And so it wouldn't have really made sense for any of those top-level faces to come in align with Roman.
A good pop that they got, bro.
Punk is one of the very few, the only probably top-level babyface in the company right now that hasn't had a major moment screwed up by the Bloodline interfering and cheating and Roman Reigns and the wise man shenanigans. So he's one of the only people that has, or he's the only guy who has the tie-in with someone in that group, that being Paul Heyman, to like motivate him to want to help, and no beef, no negative feelings that he's holding on to towards the Bloodline. So it just makes so much sense. It's really perfect, and I'm really happy that Triple H landed on, in my opinion, the right decision. It would have made Seth kind of look like a bitch, in my opinion, for him to just throw all of his beef with Roman to the side just because, like, they needed him to stand on business with that, and I'm happy they did. They definitely found the right call, in my opinion. Now, I do still think I've been right from the jump. That, and I always think that, but this just needed to be 4 versus 4. Just, it's been a lot of, like, having to jump through different hoops to make shit work. But assuming that they had to make it 5-on-5, like if
I feel like I said that in one of the shows that possibly Bronson Reed somehow joined the Blood at some point, and like
I don't know. I can't remember. Potentially, yeah, potentially, because obviously, like he has the whole Samoan heritage and everything like that. I don't think he's related to anyone in the bloodline. I've looked into. I don't think he wasn't on the family tree.
Solo.
You remember the PowerPoint that The Rock did at the thing they did in like Vegas or wherever it was before WrestleMania 40, and he wasn't on the thing, so I don't think he's in the clan. But he's got the.
He's in the family bloodline because I seen when like they did that fucking presentation for WrestleMania and he was on the tree or whatever.
He wasn't on the tree.
Yeah, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Look it up.
Bruh, he was not on the tree.
Yes, he was.
Oh, I'm just looking at the bottom level because that's where he'd have to be. No. No. He is not in here. What you pointing at?
I don't know, I'm just looking.
Ain't shit in there, brother. I've been trying to tell you, he's not. It's okay. You wrong. It's okay.
About the rest of you, bro.
It's okay. We could do that too. You can hit me with a tsunami. It's not gonna make them related. Cause you said that shit last week, and I was like, okay, maybe. I didn't know that, but maybe. And I looked into it, and no, he's not. He's not. But he is Samoan though, so that is at least something there. I feel like that is a bit of a weak connection. Like, I feel like it shouldn't just be if you're
Samoan
or Polynesian or whatever that you're allowed to be involved in the group. But
that's wild. That's honestly a wild take.
I mean, it just feels like the whole bloodline thing is that it's family. Even if it's extended, at least it's all roughly under that same family tree.
That's their answer to Sammy?
Well, no, yeah, obviously he was just brought in as like kind of a external, but I do think he's a part of the bloodline now. And this is my reasoning behind that, because that's something that we were kind of discussing last week, and I wanted to get to this. We had kind of asked the question, is he going to be a part of the bloodline going forward? What's going to be the situation here? Yeah. I had hoped he wasn't, because I wanted to see him continue to get his own solo push. No pun intended, no solo push. But I do think he might stick around with them, and my reasoning is, when CM Punk came out with the babyface bloodline, the OG bloodline, and they all hit the pose that Tribal Chief's not hitting it. LA Knight's kind of hitting it, which is funny. But when they hit the pose, CM Punk hit the go to sleep. But when I've seen Solo's bloodline 2.0 hitting the pose, Bronson be hitting the pose. And so I think that I don't know if I'm just overreading into that, but
properly,
I think that everything is intentional with the bloodline. I think everything we see on screen with the bloodline does have purpose.
That's interesting.
I do. I don't think that they do anything accidentally. Personally, when it comes to the bloodline especially, I think that's a storyline they take very serious, very meticulously. And so I could see that all kind of playing in and being a factor as far as the early signs of Bronson Reed being like fully aligned with this bloodline. And character-wise, he does fit right in. Like, he always kind of would already dress like that at times with the suits and everything like that. Like, he's got that dominating heel shit going. I think that he instantly adds a lot more to the group than like the Tongans in a lot of ways. Like, Tama Tonga is a really interesting character, and the whole kind of crackhead gimmick that he's got going it's entertaining. Yeah. But he hasn't gotten a chance to fully demonstrate what he can do in the ring yet, and Bronson Reed has. Like, Bronson Reed is definitely more of a threat to me, in my opinion. So I mean, it's definitely an interesting match.